Polynomial long division, part 2. In this video, we're going to divide polynomials with some special tricks. What to do with a divisor whose first term coefficient is not equal to 1, a dividend with a missing term, and a divisor with a power larger than 1. In this example, we're going to divide polynomials where the divisor has a leading coefficient other than 1. So 3x plus 4 is going into 3x cubed plus 10x squared minus 16x minus 28. Now remember that the steps are Dracula's mother sucks blood, or divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So the first step is to take 3x and divide it into 3x cubed. That's the same as 3x cubed over 3x, and the result is x squared. So we did the division step, and we write the x squared in the x squared column. Now the next step is to multiply, and what we're going to multiply is this x squared term by both of the terms in the divisor. So x squared times 3x is 3x cubed, and x squared times 4 is 4x squared. The next step is to subtract, so I change the signs of both of those terms so I can add them. 3x cubed minus 3x cubed is 0, and 10x squared minus 4x squared is 6x squared. Now finally I'm on the last step of bringing down, so I'm going to bring down minus 16x, and now I go back up to the top and divide again. So I'm taking 3x and I'm dividing into 6x squared. 6x squared divided by 3x is 2x. So I add 2x into the x column. Now I'm on multiply. Again, I'm going to multiply 2x by both terms of the divisor. 2x times 3x is 6x squared, and 2x times 4 is plus 8x. Now I'm on the subtract step, so I change the signs to subtract, and negative 16x minus 8x is negative 24x. I can bring down the negative 28, and I'm on my last division. 3x goes into negative 24x. So negative 24x divided by 3x is negative 8. I write negative 8 in the number column that has no variable, and I multiply again. So minus 8 times 3x is minus 24x, and minus 8 times 4 is minus 32. Again, I'm going to change the sign to subtract, and so minus 24 plus 24 is gone. Minus 28 plus 32 is positive 4, which is the remainder. So I write the quotient x squared plus 2x minus 8 plus the remainder 4 divided by the divisor 3x plus 4. And that's the answer. The tricky thing about this division is that the dividend 4x cubed minus 2x minus 5 has no x squared term. But we need an x squared term, so we're going to put in a ghost term when we write out the division. So 4x cubed plus, and then we don't have any x squareds, there's 0 of them, but we left a space for them. Minus 2x minus 5. Well, my steps are divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. So I'm going to start by dividing 4x third divided by 2x is 2x squared. And I write that right over my ghost term in the 2x squared column. Now that 2x squared multiplies by both terms in the divisor, so 2x squared times 2x gives me the 4x cubed I need to cancel out, and 2x squared times 1 is plus 2x squared. Change the sign, and I end up with minus 2x squared minus 2x. Now that I've brought down the minus 2x, I do my division step again. Minus 2x squared divided by 2x is minus x. So the next part of the quotient is minus x. Negative x times 2x is negative 2x squared, just as I would like, and negative x times 1 is negative x. So when I change the signs, I get negative 2x plus 1x is just negative x, and then bring down the minus 5. And 2x is going to go into negative x, so negative x over 2x is negative 1/2, and that's the last part of my quotient, negative 1/2. Negative 1/2 times 2x is negative x, and negative 1/2 times 1 is negative 1/2. Change the signs and add, and now negative 5 plus 1/2 is negative 4.5, or negative 9/2. That's the remainder. So the quotient is 2x squared minus x minus 1/2 minus 9/2 over 2x plus 1. In our last example, the divisor has a power greater than 1. We don't need to write a ghost term for the y term in the divisor, but we need to be careful when we're lining things up. So 6y4 is divided by 3y squared, and that gives us 2y squared. And remember to line that up over the y squared column rather than the 9y third. If I multiply it out, 2y squared times both of these terms, 2y squared times 3y squared is 6y4. And 2y squared times 2 is 4y squared. Now I change the signs and add. And if you notice, I don't have anything under the 9y third, so I just bring it down. 9y third and 10y squared minus 4y squared is 6y squared. Divide again. 9y third is divided by 3y squared, and that gives me 3y. So my next term goes in the y column, 3y. It's multiplied by both of the terms in the divisor, so 3y times 3y squared is 9y cubed, and 3y times 2 is plus 6y. So it needs to go under the y's, not the y squareds. Now I can subtract or change the signs and add. 6y squared comes down, and it's minus 6y minus 6y minus 0 plus 4. Okay, time to divide again. 6y squared divided by 3y squared is just 2. So my last term is 2. 2 is multiplied by 3y squared and gives me 6y squared. And 2 is multiplied by 2 and gives me 4. Change the signs, and I have remainder 0. So 3y squared plus 2 times 2y squared plus 3y plus 4 gives me this polynomial 6y fourth plus 9y third plus 10y squared plus 6y plus 4. And the quotient is 2y squared plus 3y plus 2.